As 2025 approaches, many of us are setting New Year's resolution because we want to enhance our life, right? Maybe your New Year's resolution for 2025 is to improve your physical health. So you're gonna go to the gym, you're gonna start eating well, eating healthy food, and try to lose weight. That might be your goal, your New Year's resolution. And maybe your New Year's resolution is for you to become a better husband. Okay, it's for you to become a better father. It's for you to become a better employee or a better employer. Maybe your New Year's resolution is for you to become a better wife, right? A better mother to your children. Or your New Year's resolution is taking care of your well-being, your mental health. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Or maybe your New Year's resolution is learn new skills. Okay, learn how to communicate better with others. Learn how to communicate better with your spouse, with your friends, and maybe you want to pick up a new language, as a New Year's resolution. But the problem with the New Year's resolution is that at least for me, okay, by February, we kind of like, what was it again? we forgot already what was our New Year's resolution, and it happens to many of us. Okay, we it's too rigid, and we can't do it, and we struggle with it. And one of the things I'm learning I learned in 2024 and going into 2025 is that sometimes we forget. Okay, and one of the reasons why God was so mad with the Israelites is that they forgot. Okay, they forgot who rescued them. They forgot how far God has taken them and where He's going with them. They forgot. And it is tough because God doesn't like when you forget and give the credit to someone else. So for me this year, my New Year's resolution is going to be different. My New Year's resolution is going to be something different this year because I choose to make it more interesting for me. Okay, and I hope this video would encourage you to make a New Year's resolution that will help you to remember what God has done, that will help you to remember your first love. Okay, in the book of Revelation chapter 3, verses 14 to 22, this is the letter to the church of Laodicea. To the church of Laodicea, that's the part that many people, if they don't remember anything about the book of Revelation, but they will remember that Jesus said to the church of Laodicea that you will lukewarm. You are a lukewarm church. You're neither hot or cold. You are lukewarm, and I will spit you out of my mouth. That is Revelation chapter 3, verse 14 to 15. But there is something we need to understand. What I really like about the Bible is that they just don't say word for the sake of saying word. They use day-to-day illustration. They use day-to-day life to illustrate. And when you read the Gospels, that's exactly what Jesus did. He used stories that people would understand, that people would be able to say, oh yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, that's it. They are able to see it, visualize it. So let me explain to you what happened when Jesus said you are neither hot or cold and you are lukewarm and I will spit you out. What was the idea? What was going on is that in Laodicea was surrounded by two other cities. Okay, two other cities. There was Colossae, the book of Colossians, and there was the Hierapolis. So those two cities, especially the city of Colossae, it was known for its cold water, refreshing water. Okay, the water was refreshing and it flows from the mountains and into the spring. So cold water was desirable and useful for drinking and refreshment. So that was the city of Colossae. Okay, this is, you understand, when Paul wrote to the church of Colossae or Colossians. So there's the other city, the city of Hierapolis. This city was famous for its hot spring. So Colossae, cold, refreshing water. Hierapolis was famous for their hot spring, which we believe to have healing and therapeutic properties. So people would travel from all over to go to that city, either for healing purposes. But it was different for the church of Laodicea. It was different for Laodicea in itself. Laodicea lacked a local water source. So understand the Laodicea, where it was located. It was located in a position where it was very well known. It was very well known in the area. Laodicea was rich, okay, wealthy, and when you read commentaries or when you read the story, they don't need help from the outside. They can take care of themselves, and this is why you see in Revelation chapter 3, and it says that basically in verse 17, for you say I'm rich, I have prospered, and I need nothing. Okay, I need nothing. But here's the issue. Here's the problem with Laodicea. They didn't have clean water. They didn't have a source of water. So by the time to get water, by the time for the water to get to them, the water was lukewarm. So understand, when John says to the church of Laodicea, or when he got the vision and Jesus said to the church of Laodicea that you're neither hot or cold, he's using what was happening for them to understand. Because if you're in Colossae and you get a drink of water, you kind of, that's refreshing. In a hot summer month, and you were working outside, when you walk inside to get a glass of water, you will not want to get a lukewarm water. You will want a cool, refreshing water. Okay. Or in the winter time, you go outside and play with the kids, and you rolling in the sun, in the snow and all of that. When you walk in, you don't want a lukewarm tea. You want a hot tea. You want a hot chocolate. You don't want the lukewarm hot chocolate. I can't even say it because there's no lukewarm hot chocolate. So it needs to be hot chocolate, right? You don't want it lukewarm. So what was happening before the water get to Laodicea? It was lukewarm. It wasn't good. It wasn't tasty. Okay, you would not want to drink it. So basically, it was not good for refreshing, like in Laodicea, in Colossae. Sorry, it was not good for like hot spring, like Hierapolis. It was good for nothing. So Jesus used what they have around them. And when you read the Gospels, that's basically what Jesus does all the time, right? You find stories, like talking about trees, talking about farmers, things that people will be able to relate to. And here he says to them, basically, you are not the water in Colossae. You are not the water in Hierapolis. You are lukewarm. You don't give refreshment. You don't give any healing. You are lukewarm. Therefore, I'm going to spit you out. And this is scary. This is scary to know that, Jesus said, I know your good deeds. He said, I know your works. I know your works. I know what kind of church you are. I know you come to church every Sunday. I know you preach a good sermon every Sunday. I know you stand in front or wherever you are and raise your hand and worship. I know your works. But you are neither hot or cold. This is scary. This is scary to know that every Sunday I go to church, to know that every Sunday I'm calling on Jesus' name, to know that I'm worshiping Jesus, that I know your work, Sammy. You're neither hot or cold. I wish you were cold. I wish you were hot, but instead you are lukewarm. This year I'm working on choosing Jesus over everything else. Choosing Jesus over any distractions. Because the worst thing that could happen is for Jesus to say, Sammy, you are neither hot or cold. I'm going to spit you out. It's the worst thing that could happen at the end when we meet our Savior and we say to him, Lord, I cast out demons in your name. Lord, I prophesied in your name. Lord, I healed the sick in your name. And for him to look at you and say, I never knew you. Depart from me. Jesus said, you are neither hot or cold. I wish you were hot. I wish you were cold. You know that. You're drinking a cup of tea and you put it aside and you forgot for a while. You go back and taste it. You go, ooh, that is disgusting. It's lukewarm. You don't want a lukewarm tea. You want a hot drink or you want a cold drink. Jesus said, I want you to be hot. Be passionate. Be zealous for me. I want you to be cold, refreshing. So when people around you, they feel refreshed whenever they talk to you. They feel like Jesus is oozing out of you. You're not afraid to tell others who you are. You're not afraid to tell others how Jesus saved you, how Jesus rescued you. And there was the worst thing that can happen is that we forget who we are. We forget how Jesus rescued us. And for me, I'm kind of like, this is tough. This is tough because I've been going to church for a long time. It is tough to know that maybe Jesus is saying, Sammy, you are neither hot or cold. But let me ask you the question. When Jesus looked at you and said, I know your works, would he say, you're hot, you're passionate about me, you know me, and you tell others about me, you tell others about the gospel, you're not ashamed of the gospel? Or would he say, you're lukewarm, I'm going to spit you out? Maybe if 2024 you realize, I feel disconnected from God. I feel God is far from me. Or I feel I don't have enough passion for God. And let me correct something here. God is never too far from you, from me. It's us who walk away from him. It's us who say, I don't need you anymore in my life. It's us who say, maybe you don't say it out loud, but in your actions, in your priorities, you say, I don't need you anymore. I can call the shots. It's us who walk away from him. And Jesus said to the church of Laodicea that you're neither hot, you're neither cold. I wish you were hot. I wish you were cold. I wish you would choose. Don't stay lukewarm. Don't stay with one foot inside the church and one foot outside. It's either you're outside or you're inside. Don't be in between. Don't just come to church just for the sake of coming to church because you grew up with your family coming to church, or you see others at church just raising their hands and praising, and you kind of like, well, that's what I see people do. Let me do it too. Why don't you make it your goal? Make it your desire to say, Jesus, I want to know you more in 2025. Not only head knowledge, but in my heart, so that when I'm talking to people, they feel like you are coming out of me. They feel like I'm becoming your hands and feet. They feel like every word I say, it's a word of blessings, because you're using me to bless others. There's that story in Exodus that every time I'm kind of like, wow. In Exodus chapter 32, there's what happened when Moses is on top of the mountain and Israel wanted to build the golden calf. Okay, they go and they send they get all the earrings and bracelet and all of the gold and give it to Aaron, and they build the golden calf. And when Moses came down, okay, notice what was happening, asking Aaron, what did you do? And said, well, the people give me the gold and I throw it in the fire and boom, come out a golden calf. Like, come on, Aaron, seriously. But anyway, God is really mad. God said to Moses, I'm going to destroy these people and I'm going to start over with you. I'm going to start over with you again. And Moses, basically the Bible says Moses stood in God's way. God is giving Moses the opportunity to plead for the people. Okay? And Moses said, basically, God, what are they going to say, the other nations? They're going to say, you rescue them from Egypt. You cannot keep your promise. So God's name is on the line. And God said, okay, I'm not going to go with you. I'm going to send an angel, because if I go with you, I will consume all of you. I'm not going to go with you. And Moses said, it doesn't work I don't like it like this, God. I don't like it. If you're not going, don't send an angel. We are not moving from here. You have to go with us. And eventually God said to Moses, yes, I will go with you. And in chapter 33 of Exodus, Moses asked God for the impossible. Moses is the guy that he saw what God did in front of the Red Sea, okay? He saw how God used him to deliver Israel. God even said to him, you will be like God to Aaron. Okay, when you speak, it's like me speaking. It's like the way God worked with Moses was incredible. Okay, the Bible says God speak to Moses like two men talking face to face. But Moses was not satisfied where he was at with God. In Exodus chapter 33, Moses said to God, like, show me your glory. Show me your glory. Moses know that nobody can see God and live. But God, you said you're going to go with me. I want to see your glory. And God didn't say, no, you can't do that. No, you can't ask me that. Because the truth is, there's nothing you can ask God that he will say, well, this is too big. I cannot do it for you. Okay. God might say, I always tell my kids, you will get 3 answers. Yes, I will do it for you. No, I'm not going to do it for you. Just wait. Not now. Okay. Yes. No. Not now. Right? So God said to Moses, I'll show you my glory, but you cannot see my face and live. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide you. I'm going to protect you. So you will see my back as I'm going. And that's exactly what God did. And God revealed himself to Moses. He's a compassionate God, a gracious God, a loving God, a forgiving Father. And he revealed himself to Moses. And and not to get too much into that story, but even when you go into Jonah, in Jonah chapter 4, that's one another reason Jonah didn't want to go, because he said, I know what kind of God you are. You are a God who is compassionate. He remembers how God revealed himself to Moses. Okay? He said, you're a compassionate God. You're a loving God. You're a forgiving God. You will forgive them. Moses said, reveal yourself to me. Show me your glory. Maybe, what about if we make 2025 our desire to say, God, show me your glory. 2024, I tried my best. I did my best. But this year, I want to do it with you. I don't want to just go to church every Sunday and for you to say, were you talking to me? Read the book of Malachi. Okay. In the book of Malachi, where Israel offering sacrifices, and God said, were you talking to me? Were you offering those sacrifices to me? We don't want to waste our time. What I mean by wasting our time is that every Sunday you go to church, or you go to a community group, or you go to where you call it, maybe small group or community, you go to prayer meeting, and in the end for Jesus to say, were you talking to me? You didn't have your priorities straight. Were you talking to me? What about if we say for 2025, God, I want to see your glory. I don't know how you're going to show it to me, but I want to see your glory. And let me tell you, this is a dangerous prayer. And when you pray this prayer with all your heart, when you pray this prayer with conviction that God will do it, you have to be ready. Because he can show himself to you while you're on top of the mountain, or he can show himself to you while you're walking in the valley. But he is going to reveal himself to you in such a way that you haven't experienced him before. Maybe this year, it's time for us to say, God, every year I have a New Year's resolution. By February, by March, I don't even remember what it is. But this year, I want to make it my goal when I wake up in the morning to grab my Bible, even before I go into social media, even before I grab my cell phone, to grab my Bible, to go on my knees and spend time with you, give you the morning. And as I'm driving, help me to have that attitude of prayer, to pray. Instead of listening to all kind of music, but to listen to sermons, to listen to something that will draw me closer to you. Give me the attitude of prayer. Give me the attitude where everything I'm spinning, like Paul says in Colossians chapter 3, whatever I do it for the glory of God. Either I walk, I drink, I'm working out, I'm driving, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing it for the glory of God. What about if we use this year, 2025, as our New Year's resolution to get to know God more, to say, God, I want to see your glory. Listen, I don't know where you're at with God. I don't know what your walk have been. But one thing I know, at the end of Revelation chapter 3, God said that Jesus said this word. Revelation chapter 3, verse 19. Those whom I love, I reprove and discipline. So be zealous and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and eat with him, and he with me. The one who conquers, I will grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. You who have an ear, hear what God is saying to you this year. If God is saying, draw closer to me, grab your Bible, find that Bible, wherever it is, find it, start reading it. Don't harden your heart. Grab that Bible. If you don't know where to start, I don't know, this is a big book, why don't we start one verse at a time? Don't start reading from Genesis all the way to Revelation. That will feel too heavy. Why don't we start maybe a chapter at a time? Why don't we start with 5 minutes? Why don't we start in the Gospel of John chapter 1. Maybe for that first day, you read John chapter 1, verse 1, and say, God, help me to love your word more. God, help me to spend more time in your word more. God, show me your glory as I'm reading your word. Show me your glory as I'm going to work. Show me your glory as I'm talking to my spouse. Show me your glory as I'm talking to my coworkers. Lord, I want I want you to show me your glory this year. I want to experience you more than last year. I want to know you more. And that's my prayer for you. And that's my prayer for myself, that this year, if Jesus is looking at me and says, Sammy, I'm glad that you're hot. Sammy, I'm glad that you are cold, but you're not lukewarm. You choose me over everything. You choose me over the distractions. You choose me. So what God is going to say, what is he going to say about you this year? As you're making New Year's resolution for your health, New Year's resolution for your financial issues, New Year's resolution for your marriage, New Year's resolution for whatever it might be. But you're going to make it your New Year's resolution to get to know God more this year. And that's my prayer for you. That's my prayer for myself. And I hope this video encouraged you. If this video encouraged you and added value to you, I would encourage you to leave a comment or give it a thumbs up, share with your friends and family, help them understand, help others hear the words that this year, my New Year's resolution is to get to know God more, not only head knowledge, but in my heart as well. May God bless you and happy New Year.